You guys, you gotta let me in.
Shark alert. It's Alex.
I just saw the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle.
Come on.
Do it.
Come on.
Do it.
Hey, look at
Cut it out, Dan. Leave him alone.
Nothing better to do, get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise too. The Totally Rad Show.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 27. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I am Jeff Canada.
And I am really good friends with Jeff and Alex. And my name's Dan Trachtenberg.
It was subtle. It was subtle. The Totally Rad Show. It's your weekly dose of all things rad. We squeeze rad juice out of cows, ferment it, and make it into a cheese. Slice it on your week. That's
Nicely
how good it
done,
is.
sir.
Thank you kindly. Before we get into the show, you may have noticed that TotallyRadShow.com has had a major overhaul.
Holy crap, it's a big deal.
It's a holy crap overhaul.
Yes.
Totally.
Dan likes
Not
it.
not only is this, the last couple of days, a huge launch for something like Halo 3, it's
Whatever.
also a huge launch for us.
For us, the threes.
Do you remember
That's
when
right.
we launched it?
Yeah!
It's pretty sweet.
We should actually show some footage of that
Let's do it.
big,
Yeah, we should do
momentous
that.
occasion. Guys, I'm sorry I'm late.
You're always late.
I know.
Every single time.
I know.
We're trying to launch a website
I know,
here.
I heard that.
Dan, tell him.
Yeah, we're launching
What Dan's trying to say is we're trying to launch a website here. See the big red button? The big shiny button?
I see the big
We got to
button.
push that button.
All right.
And it's not going to work if just Dan and I push that button, right, Dan? Tell him.
It's
What
probably
Dan's trying to say is that it takes all of us to push that shiny red button.
I'm glad I got here on time.
Ready? That's awkward for me.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Rash!
Does it affect it if I don't say long?
Probably not. I'm
It's
sure it
okay.
launched.
All right. Good work, everybody. Back to work. Well, that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
Luckily, those labs have been dismantled and shipped off to their respective
They have.
origins,
They have, which is good.
states.
So now, if you head over to Totally...
I'm sorry, hold on.
That's
excuse
okay.
me.
I was just going to tell them about the site.
Where are the origins of the lab?
The origin states. Each,
Yeah.
each piece of the lab was brought from a different, mostly the middle of the country, which we love.
Of course. It's my favorite part of the country.
I know.
Yeah.
Very good
Minnesota.
taste.
You love Minnesota.
It's my favorite part.
Cool.
Tell us about the website. It's freaking awesome.
I will tell you right now about the website. It has all of background downloads, information about creating your own background. Speaking of background, before we get too far, we'd like to thank Kevin Sanders for the
yes.
Halo 3 inspired.
Very cool.
Yes. So
And if you go to our website, you can
go to your
download this
website.
one right now.
You can download that one. You can see templates. It's awesome. We have a link to our forums over there. All the previous
Java
episodes. Java chat. We hope. You can. What was the other? TV news, movie news, video game news, comic book news.
The
all
coolest
available to
thing
you.
of all, I think, is that we're going to, as a way to kick this website off, since we're going to London,
We thought, why not tell you about it day to day?
we're going to do a blog.
We're doing a London
weekly
blog.
So be sure to go to www.totallyradshow.com. Every day we're in London, which is September 30th through October 8th.
That is true.
We're going to try to update live.
30 days in September?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like the movie.
Yeah.
You know what that means.
So, loyal viewers of the show will remember that way back when we asked for some
Help. Yeah.
We got some great help, and we're really proud.
Dude, we got tons of help. Jeff's been doing a great job.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yes, thank you very much. And Grant Gould connected us up
amazing
with a
art.
little bit of artwork
Yes.
for the comic header. Hello. Which is genius.
So we're really excited.
We're super excited. So head over, email us, let us know what you think, and how about we do a show, gentlemen?
Let's rock it.
This week in the movies, we are going to talk to you guys about, and I will talk to you too,
Oh, yes, yes.
and you will talk to me about Eastern Promises,
That's right.
the new David Cronenberg movie,
Who has done such films as?
who has done just
I was
films
surprised
as
at some of his older films. I didn't realize how far back he went.
he's a
Yeah,
heavyweight.
yeah.
He just did History of Violence, which was nominated for some Academy Awards. So
Yep.
he sort of is hitting the mainstream a little bit, but he's known for The Fly, Dead Ringers,
Yeah.
Existence.
Existence. I never saw it. Everyone was like,
good. I
"That's
liked it.
Matrix before the Matrix."
Kind of.
Others.
Naked Lunch. I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
big David Cronenberg person. Videodrome. Yeah. So he's
Okay.
Okay. Whatever.
Let's talk about Eastern Promises.
Okay, Eastern Promises stars Naomi Watts, and she is a midwife in a hospital in London and discovers a baby. And in trying to figure out what happened to the mother of this baby, delves into the world of the Russian mob, members of whom are Viggo Mortensen and Armin Mueller-Stahl, who's awesome.
Yes.
And Vincent Cassel,
Yeah.
who's awesome.
Is he the Russian guy, the
from
French
Ocean's
guy?
11, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Ocean's
Ocean 12.
He's in
and 13.
And 13.
La Haine Hate Great frickin'
Dude, he was in the Joan of Arc one, the Luc Besson Joan of Arc movie, which I thought he was good in.
very famous French actor. Irreversible. Okay.
Anyway.
So, what would you guys think of Eastern Promises?
Well,
Alex?
I kind of started this train just because I saw Eastern Promises with my girlfriend for her thingy, and I had this wasn't like, this was way off my radar because it wasn't on his Dandar, so I didn't know. It hadn't been mentioned on the Dandar screenings that I get every day laminated under my bed.
Well,
But anyway, so I saw it. I had no concept of it. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I thought Viggo Mortensen was amazing. I mean, you can't talk about this movie without talking about the fight scene.
Floppy McFloppersons, which is
Spoilers.
spoiler cams. But this is, I mean, you could not read an article about this movie without hearing about this. There's a fight scene in a steam, sort of old school bath house kind of a thing, and Viggo Mortensen is in there with a towel, and he gets attacked, and his towel comes off, and it's one of the most violent, visceral fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie, which I actually, as a guy, because there's a lot of penis. I mean, it's not a lot of penis, but the whole point is, as a guy, usually when like something happens like that and a guy jumping around in the nude, I'm like, just got artsy and I'm not into this. But it was like, it's so like raw and violent that you're totally, I mean, you forget that it keeps flashing by the screen. But
Well, it just shows that he's completely at a disadvantage in every way.
In every way. And I've been told that, you know, in articles about this movie that Viggo Mortensen and David Cronenberg sat down and they said, we got to talk about this scene. And they said, Viggo was the one who said, look, I have to do this naked. Because if I do this with a towel that somehow magically stays on, nobody's going to buy this scene. And he was like, dude, more power to him. I mean, that's ballsy shit, literally. So I had to say that. I actually thought that was a good part of the movie. I didn't really buy Naomi Watts. I just sort of thought she could have been played by anybody, pretty much. So that was sort of like, okay, she's there. There was one scene very early on, which I'm interested to see what you guys think about it. but it's like the first time she's on her motorcycle, and all of a sudden it cuts to this like cheesy in front of her, and she's like, and I was
like 4 seconds.
I know, but it took me so out of the movie. I was like, what is with this weird like
I've been
witch?
thinking about that.
And then somebody has told. I heard somebody say that it was like, oh, it was genius because it was a throwback to like the Alfred Hitchcock thriller thing that they did shots like that back in those kinds of movies. And I was like, well, I guess I buy it on that end. But so I'm going to say overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I wasn't blown away by the movie, but I think that fight scene to me sold it, and the acting was amazing. I mean, all the actors were amazing. So that's my take.
I really, really, really like this movie. I had high hopes for History of Violence, and I was very disappointed by that movie.
Is this based on a comic book as well?
No.
No?
Not that
Okay.
I'm aware of, but is it based on something?
I don't think so.
Okay. Every note that he tried to hit with History of Violence, he hits in this movie. The idea of marrying the extremely dark, dangerous underworld with the very ordinary, which is what he was going for with History of Violence, is that dichotomy of can you live both those lives, and that I felt like completely got ruined in the second half of that film.
He's saying smart things.
Exactly
This guy.
where this movie lands
This guy.
brilliantly. And I will say that I did not know, like you, I did not know a lot about this movie going in, and I kind of had low expectations based on my disappointment in History of Violence. And maybe that benefited me because I really like this movie. I think Viggo Mortensen should be nominated for an Academy Award for this film.
I'd agree with that.
Amazing performance.
Well, first off, speaks Russian fluently throughout the whole. I never once thought he wasn't Russian.
Yeah, and his dialect is spot on. But the thing that blows me away with it is he is terrifying in this film. He embodies that completely. I can kill you at any moment. Don't mess with me, coiled snake.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way
So
where
calm that it's
I remember
scary.
us talking last week about the Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, and talking about the Terminator guy and how in order to be scary Terminator guy, he had to be like an impersonation of scary Terminator guy.
Right.
Viggo Mortensen is so calm and collected and casual, and what he knows at the very bottom of his core is that at any time I'm a better man than you, and I can take you down. And that comes through in every mannerism. It is a spectacular performance.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I love the way this. You said something when we were doing the review of Stardust a while back about how the movie unfolds for you and sort of it's this curving vine that grows of its own accord, and things aren't just set up and paid off; they're sort of discovered as you go along. That's how I felt this movie played, where there are huge reveals and big twists, but none of them are played big. None of them are played huge. It's just how the story goes, and you as the audience feel that bigness.
Yeah.
Because the movie isn't throwing it down at your feet. I
That's
was
interesting.
really impressed by this movie.
What did you think of the grandfather too?
Oh my! He should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
He's
It's
freaking
amazing. When he like showed this,
But don't
him
reveal
being
anything.
I'm not, but
Okay.
him being subtly spooky to her in that like caring grandfathery way, like where I'll drop this off for you. Where do you live?
Yeah.
And it's
Dude,
just like, whoa, dude.
I was sitting there going, I'm Italian,
Yeah.
you know? And so I can say that like the Italian mafia, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary in a lot of movies.
yeah. The Russian
Russians
mob?
make the freaking Italians look
I
like a
know.
social club.
I know,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
I also think this movie is going to sell a lot of copies of the new Grand Theft.
That's
well
interesting.
said.
Yeah.
But what did you think?
I mean,
James
I
Case?
totally loved. The reason why it wasn't on my Dandar is
Yeah.
because
I was wondering about
You
that.
have some Dandar. I think it's cat Dandar. It's okay. It's cat Dandar.
I think that's highly yeah. Your joke was best. I should-
it was on
I'm not even trying.
you know, I was so disappointed in History of Violence. And then
Yeah.
I was so disappointed in History of Violence
too.
for the exact same we've talked about.
You know,
it.
it's so funny. I didn't know anything about History of Violence. It was before we were doing the show, so I didn't even know friends had DARs. So I was like, I didn't even know that you could get excited about a movie before it
Wolfman's
came
got
out.
DARs.
I know. That's Dan's name.
I love Jeff Kanata. I love you. I think I love
cursing
you.
him.
I know, it was awesome.
think I love you.
I hate both of you. But it's funny. I went in. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was anything. I
Well,
enjoyed
a lot
it
of
a lot
people
like
did.
this.
It was nominated for like Best Picture. I
Yeah.
think it was.
I know.
nominated
That's
for a
why
lot
I
of
went. I
things.
went and saw it.
We weren't
going, I
alone
wanna
on
see this
that.
Best
Continue
Picture.
talking.
No,
Continue
no.
talking. I didn't know.
History of Violence was for the same reason. I love the premise. I think there's a comic book called Pride and Joy out there that is the history of violence premise taken seriously. I didn't like how how history of violence is this great, could have been this awesome real thing. What does a family do in this circumstance? And then it turns into this caricature. Like I felt like David Cronin, he was trying to make these people cartoons. The bad guy had a scar over his eye. He was a cartoon of a bad guy to prove his point.
Right.
Interesting. And the bully in the beginning was like that classic American bully pushing him in the locker. It was all so hyper.
Yeah.
This movie delivered on the promise of what History of Violence set out for me, which was like, the bad guy did not have a scar over his eye.
Well, you didn't even know who the bad guy was.
Who the bad guy was.
You just sort of got creeped out and went, maybe that's him, maybe not.
Cronenberg is known for extreme gore and oddity. Yeah. And I like how he's now, even in History of Violence, he's applying that extreme gore and oddity in a more natural way.
Yeah.
And he and the Cronenberg does that too, where it's just the world of it is so interesting and bizarre and different. And the faces, I love the faces that he casts.
And
are
when those
all
moments
so interesting.
When those moments happen of gore, it is so much more and it's not even gory really. It's
there's not many of them. That's the thing, is it's almost like the impending doom is what is scary. Because I read articles about this that were saying, like, oh, it's super violent. Yeah, super violent. And then halfway through the movie, I was like, this feels violent. It's not violent. Right. Every scene feels like somebody's being killed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting that you had that reaction to Naomi Watts, because he shot her very unattractively with the worst lenses.
Like on purpose. Normal.
To me, I'm going to say, it's not that I wasn't attracted to her. I just was sort of like, she could have been played by anybody.
But maybe subconsciously. And because also that scene, I specifically tapped out in that scene, and it's what I didn't like about History of Violence, where she was driving the motorcycle.
Yeah,
the music was very over the top.
Howard Shore.
And he does every David Cronenberg score and Lord of the Rings. But and I was like, ugh, this is all of a sudden it just turned into History of Violence, where that music was like not fitting the vibe of the movie.
And it was a weird shot. It just it took me totally out.
That's a Cronenbergian, whatever, taking you out to.
But you love this movie.
But I really did. And even though nothing totally unpredictable, when you're looking back, nothing was that unpredictable, but I was unaware of it. It was told in a way that I wasn't thinking about how predictable it was.
Yeah.
So
cool. So 2 loves and a really good.
Yeah. We have to talk about Southland Tales. They just released the trailer for Southland Tales. That is a movie that is on Dandar.
Which is really funny, because we watched the trailer, because it was not on my Dar. Not many things on
This is from the director of Donnie Darko.
Let me give you some background.
Yeah, please give me background, because there's got to be more to the story.
Southland Tales is the follow-up to Richard Kelly's Donnie Darko.
Correct.
Huge movie, Donnie Darko. Not so big in theaters, but enormous in DVD.
It's a big cult thing.
New director. This is another generation's Tarantino or Kevin, whatever. He's like the new guy. He wrote Domino, which may have been an older script. Tony's.
No, I know. Yeah. No, it's just surprising because it's not.
Yeah, he is like a geek film director. Right. He's a guy who loves movies. He's a super young guy.
So he hasn't done anything
He was like my age when Donnie Darko came out.
And he hasn't done anything since Donnie Darko, right?
Just the script for Domino.
Okay.
And I think he ghostwrote on other things. Southland Tales was premiered at Sundance in 2006.
Oh, really?
And was panned.
Wow.
It was a 160-minute cut.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
It was up against, what were the other movies that were, place it, but whatever.
I mean, it's panned.
Totally panned. I saw 2 years ago, with great anticipation, an animatic for a scene at Comic-Con. It played during Kevin Smith's panel. Kevin Smith was good buddies with the guy.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith was in Southland Tales.
Yeah.
Richard Kelly comes on. He shows an animatic with 2 cars having sex. I mean, I can't describe it. Insane. And you're like, Southland Tales. And he's releasing, and this is still happening, over the next year he's going to release graphic novels that are the pre-story and webisodes that are pre-story to this movie. This is a very our generation movie.
Okay.
He wrote the script pre-2000. He wrote the script
I'm
September
very
11th,
nervous to say things.
and then changed the script after September 11th to make it more meaningful. It was originally going to be this thing about Hollywood and porn stars and actor, because The Rock. The cast is dense. The Rock is like a actor who's doing a ride along with a cop who's Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle
Timberlake
Gellar,
is in it.
Justin Timberlake.
So this
Wallace
is all
Shawn.
done. Oh, I love Wallace Shawn. Love.
John Larroquette. It's like this
And it's all been shot. Then they rewrote it and reshot stuff and cut it.
And then
together?
he redid things after he added effects stuff.
This is after 2006 when it was panned.
Yes. And he readdressed things.
So you tell me what you think of the.
I don't know.
trailer.
I can't
Did
really
you see the
comment
trailer?
because everything I know and everything I see is like
Contradictory.
No. I don't think it looks bad. I think it sounds like you guys don't think it looks bad. It looks bad, but I mean I don't want to be presumptuous, but
It didn't look good.
yeah, it's like
I mean, I watched it and I was like, well, okay, that could have been a trailer for any movie. I have no idea what it's about. I don't why I should care to go see it.
I agree with that. I mean,
I will probably lose fans by saying I didn't like Donnie Darko.
Oh really?
That's okay. I don't
Didn't
think
like
you'll
it.
lose fans. It's
Other than
a very weird.
great scene
I
with
mean,
that school guy.
How many times did you see it?
Only once.
Well,
Okay, because I saw it once. Didn't really get why there was such a big deal about it, and then I also realized I don't know if I totally understood it. And then I watched
I don't
it
think you
again.
can understand
and
it.
I was
I
like,
felt like the thing I didn't like about it was I kind of felt like I get it. It's not. I'm not. My mind's not blown.
Okay.
I get it.
That's okay.
That's
A lot
kinda-
of
I
people
don't know.
felt that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it wasn't a huge success in the theaters.
Yeah.
I liked it definitely more.
So
than
I mean, I guess I'm not going into this with high expectations. So
yeah. All right. Well, let's see how it comes
Remains to
out
be
when
seen.
we see how it
Very
comes out.
interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So TGS is going on in the video game world.
Thank
Thank
God
God
it's
it's Saturday.
Sunday.
Oh, Saturday's better.
Did you guys
than
plan that?
No.
All right. Tokyo Game Show is what that really stands for.
Let's not tell
It's-
them about how we
yeah.
did that.
As we're taping, it is going on. It's probably over by the time you're seeing this. But we talked a little bit about Microsoft's announcements last week. This week is going to be a lot of Sony talk.
We did?
Yeah, remember?
No.
You go back and watch.
Totally.
Wow. I totally
So-
forgot that. Okay, go.
Well, first of all, let's start with this. We have all been playing Heavenly Sword.
Correct,
On the
Dominion.
PS3.
Correct,
Which is a big release, seeing as how the PS3 doesn't have a lot of exclusive titles worth playing.
It was sort of the big release.
Yeah. I finished it. Did you guys finish it?
I told Steve where I'm at. I just killed.
Finished it.
I killed Roach's pets, so I'm near the end, right? Steve
Yeah,
said
it's
I'm-
a short game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very short game. I finished it in like 2 sittings.
I didn't get that close to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to
Where are
like
you?
who's
No.
farther, but
Fox. Guy named Fox.
What?
okay.
Fox,
What
right?
What do you
Foxy?
think? I mean, you are notoriously single player challenged.
Yes, and I will tell you, I've been so glad that I was able to announce that on the show because I used to feel bad. I'd like force myself to play games because they're so good, and then Half-Life 2, yeah, it's a great game, and I loved playing it for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, bored. You know what I mean? And
not me.
same thing happened with Heavenly Sword, although I think it's really pretty. It's really pretty. When you do certain things, it's really satisfying. But most of the time, there's a lot of square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle,
time.
square, triangle,
Oh,
square.
you mean
triangle,
when you're
square,
fighting?
triangle, square. Yeah, just like whip, 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 ba-doo-doo-doo-doo. And that was it. I mean, this is just me going boom, 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 boom. And then there was some weird message that popped up, and I think it was a joke that was written into the game because it said,
Mashing buttons.
quickly mashing buttons make you recover faster. And I was like, I wonder if that's because I'm playing this game the way they want people not to play this game, which is I'm just fucking mashing buttons. And it knows that I am, and so it put up a little header
I
of
saw
like...
that once. What is
I mean,
that?
I think it comes up no matter what.
I
think
but I can't
any-
imagine that there is something where hitting... Literally,
There's
the
a
game
lot
says
of-
mash buttons randomly in any order, and it helps. Like, really?
Well,
That's
there's
what
a
it's
lot
gonna say?
of inside jokes in this game. It's a lot of There's
Well, first
that
off-
part where she says, "I'm going to attack your weak spot for massive damage." You know, it's a thing to
Yeah.
Ken Kutaragi. And
Well, so anyway, so there was a lot of just... It was very repetitive and got kind of old. I thought the visuals were really good. I thought the voice acting was actually really good. Hated the 6-axis bullshit. Hated the fucking... When I got up there to be the kitty cat moron in the trees...
Let's explain what that is.
Yeah,
you
explain
can you can
It's called
pick up
after
any. After touch.
After touch.
You can pick up any object in the game and throw it.
Well, I didn't know you could use it on that.
And if you hold down the button you use to throw it, you can then guide it using the 6-axis.
Well,
But it
theoretically, you can do that.
Okay,
But
and then there's
it really
a lot of
kicks in when you're crossbowing
Well,
as the
or
second
cannonball.
character,
Right,
and
well,
you're
spoilers,
oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
That happens in like the first 10 minutes.
Right.
But so anyway, I mean,
there's a lot of sections where they force you. You cannot pass the stage without using
horrible decision. Because the fucking X-axis does not work the way they think it works in their magic lab that they sit in.
Yeah.
Because every time I was like, I mean, I literally, all the fucking people came through. I mean, I maybe killed 8 people with the stupid dart thing. Because literally it was like, I would hit it and then the fucking arrow would go, eep, and so I'm like on the fucking floor like, da. And then the cannonball thing?
But isn't that
didn't
cool
have
how...
No, it is not cool.
The number of people that you got through... I'm just saying this mechanic. You find out the number of people you got through, you then attack them.
No. If I was
sucked
not
at that
forced,
part,
if I was not forced to use a hacked on, slapped on, we can challenge the Wii bullshit concept that doesn't fucking work in this situation, I would think that moment was really great.
Okay.
If it was just, I could zoom in and zoom out and fucking snipe people out, because you know how much I love to do the sniping stuff. That's my deal.
Yeah, that's
That would be epic. If I could clear them out here, I don't even have to fight. So that I love that. But I went through the fucking cannonball scene 10 times.
It gets worse because there's going to be later in the
Of
game.
course.
There's cannonball scenes that are timed.
That was timed.
Yeah. It's
so
I actually didn't have that experience. I had that experience
man.
the first time. I was like, especially that first thing, I was like, forget this. This is impossible. But then I started figuring it out, and I started to love it. And I was playing with my girlfriend was watching me play. She was enjoying it though. I wouldn't like force her to.
No.
And she was like,
They do that.
every time you shoot that arrow. If it's that scene where that guy's walking in slow motion, you got to like protect him. There's guys in front and guys behind.
Yeah.
It was
Intense.
like and you're guiding that arrow, and you know there's another guy. You got to shoot that next one, and if you miss. Like, oh shit! And then it's in slow motion, and you're trying, and they're like about to hit the guy, and you're in slow motion going in, and you're like, no, please don't miss, please don't. And it's difficult, but it's a good suck.
You're
It's not a good
in that
suck.
moment.
It's not a good suck to me.
And
To me, it was this. Get the fucking hit the goddamn.
I dig the game, and a lot of games are the button mashers.
Yeah.
But this with the different stances,
Different stances was definitely cool.
You certainly can, but if you. I would be unsuccessful and be like, okay, let me think about this and start to play with this.
There's a level of complexity that you
I
can
liked the counteract.
countering.
The countering was
Did you guys
good.
do the stuff where if you get knocked in the air, you shake it?
Yes.
That was
Yes,
awesome.
But I would never remember that until I was just about to hit the ground. So I was literally, this is me, I'm like going, crank. Go fuck!
Well, you know,
crank.
that's-
Alex, where I agree
Horrible.
with
It's not
you,
the game's fault.
where I agree,
Yeah, it is. It should give me more time in the air. Slow-mo it or something.
where I agree with you is
Yeah.
that I found this game to be brilliant and wonderful, and then
Tedious.
as frustrating as you
Yeah.
can possibly be, and then brilliant and wonderful, and as frustrating. And I was like you, where at first the 6-axis thing was completely frustrating and annoying to me. I just wanted to control it with the stick.
Oh, yeah.
But then I got to this Zen place where like, oh, I actually really dig this.
You just
and
calm that
then
down and then-
it got frustrating again. So it was like these waves of. The one thing that we have to talk about is the cutscenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, amazing.
Gorgeous.
Voice acting.
Directed.
Acting. There's acting in real time CGI. I mean, it's not CGI. It's real time
Mocha.
cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Directed and performed by Andy Serkis.
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
He
that's
played
interesting.
Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Who
And
was
it
he?
is-
Was he the king? The
Yeah,
bad guy?
I think he was all the bad
I think
guys.
it was all of them.
He was all the. But whoever plays the lead girl.
Yeah, the
is-
British chick is good, yeah.
I mean,
And
it
her
is.
sister, the
Touch one?
But there's actual. There's
Well, come on, she eats a
actual.
worm and it's just like, why are we fighting?
There's actual sentiment.
There's actual
Yeah.
acting in the expressions.
Yeah.
It really attained a level of performance that
Yeah.
I've never seen in a video game, and that alone is an achievement. I think it's a game. If you have a PS3, it's a game worth renting at least. It's
Definitely.
very short.
I'm so glad I borrowed it from Dan instead of bought it. I'd be mad if
And
I
the-
paid money for this game.
Those
Seriously.
cutscenes make you want to play. It's like, oh wow, like when the stakes are when the girl like throws the sword, the touched girl
Yeah.
throws the sword, and she yells her name. There's like
Right.
blood curdling scream, and you get the sword. I'm like, like it,
Right.
oh my god.
All right, we're gonna move on to some TGS news because
Yes.
there's gonna be all Sony because there's some interesting Sony stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, the biggest thing that I've had a gripe about with the PS3, I mentioned it when we reviewed Resistance: Fall of Man, lack of feedback, force feedback.
Yes.
The
Vibration.
Rumble.
DualShock Rumble. They announced that they're updating the DualShock controller, adding rumble, keeping 6-axis, but adding rumble because they had said previously well, we can't put the rumble in because it messes with the 6-axis. No. Turned out it was just a lawsuit, and that got all
It's funny. The PR company wasn't honest about that?
What?
That's hysterical.
Sony wasn't honest? So, anyway, I wanted to bring that up. I'm thrilled. The coolest thing about it is it's going to
But now we got to buy 4 new joysticks.
Well, yeah. But, which just sucks, admittedly.
That is a sucks.
Which sucks.
Cool. I said I was Italian.
I know, you came out. It was great.
The thing I like about it is it's going to be retroactively. It's going to be a feature that's
the
retro.
games
There's
will
going to be
have Rumble in them?
updates that you'll download. So Resistance will work, Heavenly Sword will work, adding Rumble functionality,
That's
which I
cool.
think is very, very cool.
Yeah,
Right? It's going to make me go out and buy new controllers.
There's a few things about the PS3 that I'm not. The interface is not. We talked about in the Warhawk thing.
Let's talk about some of the software that they talked about. One of the big games that was first announced when the PS3 was announced was this game called Africa.
With a K.
With a K. Well, that's the tentative working title, evidently. And it is a safari game of sorts. The original CGI trailer was just a bunch of animals, and nobody kind of knew what it was. So TGS, they're really excited, going to have a new trailer, going to show you more of Africa.
Same shit.
We still don't know what the hell the game is.
I know. Well,
But
I'm
are
worried
you
it's going to be in a weird way, in like person with no toes way. You know what I mean? Just like that's interesting. But like I'm worried it's I'm worried it's going to be a hunting game.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be photography. That's my theory.
Sort of hunting.
Like Dead Like Me.
Hey! Dead Like Me?
I mean, not Dead Like Me, Dead Rising.
Bioshock.
Yeah, I mean, again, first off, if that's what it is, then who cares? You know what I mean?
Really? I think it's a game.
I'm sorry, so you'd like to hop on a Jeep on your PS3, run through the Serengeti to take pictures of lions.
Graphics are great, right? Animals are gorgeous.
It's almost like not going there.
I'm thinking... It's exactly like not going there. I'm thinking it's one of those games that you will buy so that your girlfriend who doesn't like games will be interested in games.
Maybe.
Your girlfriend doesn't like playing video games. It's going to like playing a boring video game.
You got to step them in.
All right, so we don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm into those. Like, I down that Flow on the PS3. I'm into those like experience games. I'm totally. I like it.
Those guys announced a new game at TGS too. The same. It's called Flower. The Flow guys. Flower with a zero instead of an O.
I get that.
Yeah. Anyway.
I can imagine what that would be. There was like that, and I think it was on the Sega CD or the PlayStation demo disc. It was like a dinosaur that you could just manipulate, but it looked radder than anything that.
Oh, yeah.
I like that stuff. Or like Dreamcast had that fish thing.
Yeah, the fish thing. When you made a fish and you like.
There's going to be a sequel to Seaman. They announced at TGS.
Oh, really?
Seaman 2 for
That's crazy.
That's with Bigelow.
So what else? What else?
We love more Seaman.
All right, that was easy.
Heyo. Okay, and the last thing I want to bring up is Home, the Sony online service that was going to be sort of like Second
sort of
Life.
Mystical thing that I have never.
Well, it was going to be sort of like Second Life, where you could walk around with your avatar, you had possessions in the virtual world.
Totally.
Yeah.
Delayed.
Again?
2008. It was supposed to be fall this year. The word on the street is they're having problems. I'm real bummed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be cool. You didn't think it was going to be cool?
I thought it was going to be cool, but I guess I just sort of didn't like, what would you do?
Well, when
go to the house? Although if I had a pimp-ass house.
We could have a totally rad show house, and everybody could come and watch our show on a TV screen, and it would be cool.
All right, well, now that's awesome. Oh.
But I tell you, I don't
television.
2 weeks in a row we got television. That's pretty great.
I'm a fan. I feel really bad because we're going to be traveling, and I'm going to miss every single premiere of a show that I want to see. It's
TiVo,
horrible.
that's why God made TiVo.
I know, but I think I'm going to come back. My box is going to be so full, and I'll be like, I just got to take 4 days to catch up. Speaking of which, I did see one of the first episodes of Kitchen Nightmares, which I don't know if you guys are watching, but you should watch. It's brilliant. It's old
The fact that
BBC.
Avatar season 3 is premiering. Hilarious.
Oh,
Tonight,
dude!
or-
We gotta catch up.
Yeah.
We gotta catch up. We gotta catch
That's
up.
a few nights ago
And
for them.
I just have to say, Kid Nation is awesome. Steve disagrees with
Oh,
me.
okay.
But I saw the first episode of Kid Nation.
Okay.
All right,
So that was our little like spitball moment.
Okay.
Those were our gems.
Yes.
Now we're gonna get into the hard work. We saw 2 pilots this week.
We should talk about Reaper first.
We saw Reaper and we saw Journeyman.
Yes.
Reaper is a CW produced by ABC, but it's on the CW. I'm going to just start before we get into Reaper by saying I thought this was Ripper.
I love it when you...
that whole time?
The entire, until we sat down and watched it and you said that's Ripper, I thought this was the thing that was all Joss Whedon, the guy from Buffy. It was like him on a tour with new people.
Kevin Smith. It's Kevin Smith.
Well,
Totally didn't know
Kevin
that.
Smith,
Correct.
but
Well, no, but okay.
But yeah.
So
you're right.
basically, the whole thing is the CW. It's a very sort of like Buffy-esque kind of nerds on a mission to save the world. Though it sort of turns out that, long story short, this kid has to end up working for the devil as his ghost buster.
Completely.
Yeah, I mean it's Ghostbusters. They sat down and went, how can we
Ghostbusters now.
make the TV show Ghostbusters without ripping it off by saying it's Ghostbusters to a T? But
We use a dustbuster.
yeah, literally a dust buster.
I feel
But
like
anyway, let's see
spoiling moments.
what. Not really. So, Dan, what did you think?
I loved it.
Wow.
Loved. In the first 5 seconds, I was like, I'm gonna hate this. This is terrible. And then moment by moment, it got better and better and better and better. The actors are great. I thought the problems that we had with Chuck throwing away pop culture moments, these guys were very easily able to sell.
Yeah, most definitely.
What are you gonna Hulk smash? Whatever it is, like these kind of throwaway things. It didn't sound like they're trying to make these references.
Right.
It felt like they experience these kids know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I thought they were hysterical. The story moments, I didn't know any of that story stuff going in. That you said like it's devil and that. Well, you didn't really give away some.
It's
crucial
on
things.
the poster. You can read it.
I know,
It's
but you know what? That poster.
Guys gotta work
by
for the
way,
devil.
That poster is abysmal.
The poster's horrible.
Terrible marketing.
What do you mean their hair is singed?
I was so against. I didn't
know.
want to see this show. I was like, we don't need to bother watching Reaper.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck. The
This could be
poster for it-
marketing killing a show.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's not. I mean, look, it's not. Nothing's profound about it, but it's definitely got other things that I enjoyed about Buffy. But
Yeah.
it is funny. The story beats that happen are
an
good
interesting
and
story.
original. It could be unexpected and it's unexpected.
Yeah.
I really kind of loved it.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I got that vibe.
I hope
Sort
that
of.
the rest of the
series
is as
holds up.
good as as they get into the more monster of the weeky stuff.
Right.
Because this was partly good because of the origin-ness of it.
Backstory, yeah,
But,
yeah. Jeff, what did you think?
You know how when we were talking about...
No.
we were talking about Bionic Woman.
Things you hate.
Bionic Woman, and we
Yeah.
were like, sometimes you see the first episode and you sense that as it goes on, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
I have the opposite feeling with this. I went in thinking, like I think we all did, that it was not
It's gonna
going to
be
be
crap.
very good.
Yeah. The word
And
on the street
it was
gonna be crap.
surprisingly charming and funny.
Yeah.
And the guy from Invasion, the bigger dude, the sidekicky guy,
Yeah. Sam. or
very
whatever.
funny, great timing.
No, Sam was the lead guy.
It made me laugh out
He
loud
was
a
in
few times.
Invasion?
Yeah, the show, not the movie.
Oh, Invasion. Yes. He was the backwoods dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. I was wondering where he's from. I was like, what is he from?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Invasion, right.
He's great. He's great. And I didn't think that the lead guy was very good, but
Yeah.
whatever.
He's sort of
It-
knowing that
it's
voice
charming and it
cracking
works.
thing, yeah.
But I sense this show is never going to be as good as that pilot. That I sense that as the show goes on, not going to be very good.
Could be
But I could be
Said,
wrong.
Of all the shows we've watched, I feel
Pushing
like we've
Daisies,
seen a lot of
dude.
good. I know, but Pushing Daisies, I'm
It's
super.
in a class by itself.
But I tell you what, I'm like really.
That's interesting.
I want to see that. I can't wait to see the show again.
Really?
I
Wow.
loved watching it.
I would-
It made me feel.
What did you think?
Good.
Wow. Definitely not as loving. but definitely way more loving than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we all thought this
yeah.
was going to be a hot pile of poo. It was the same way. It started, and I was like, a groan, eyes rolling. Shit, here we go again. Why do shows get made that blow? You know what I mean? Just like everything. And then that guy from Invasion came in, and I was like, I hate him already. I mean, I was really like, dude, I'm going to get more Chinese food while we were watching it. And then it you know what it was? It was the dog, the first dog moment.
There's some great physical comedy in the show. Which you don't see on
great
TV
comedy. The guy from Invasion ended up being hysterical, pitch perfect. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I really did enjoy it. I thought the guy that they cast as the devil is I love that guy.
Ray Wise.
The
man.
It did definitely
But you didn't
transcend what I
It's
thought.
a really good premise. It's
I'm really worried that... Well, but
good premise.
the reason why I didn't love it was because I could see the meeting where they all sat around and said, Ghostbusters was awesome. Let's figure out the excuse to get young people to bust ghosts like them. I mean, even to the fact of where they got like in their gear, which is going to be the gear that they wear every week when they put it on. And it's like...
I'm going to make a prediction right here, right now. You heard it on Totally Rad Show first.
All right, give it to me.
Whenever it is that this show is canceled
Yeah?
or ends its long run of success,
Yeah.
the finale, we're going to find out he was God and not the devil. The whole time.
Mark it on your calendars.
You heard it from me first, folks.
3 weeks from today.
I guarantee that was part of the initial pitch. Big twist.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's not the devil at all. He's God.
That's really interesting. That's okay. All right, one to Jeff if that works, and then one to us for not.
The good news
saying
is,
anything.
whenever it happens, people won't even remember.
I know. It'll be that one guy who's like, "What's this new show? What did he say? That's not true. I heard that's not true." So the other pilot that we
we should say that we can't you can't take everything we say for realsies about the show because we saw.
Well, we saw that early. All of the pilots that we saw are early.
Yeah, and we
well,
saw
except the Journeyman.
they recast.
Except the Journeyman,
Oh, right.
because that's from NBC. Yeah,
They recast the star.
the lead chick. Well, not the star, but the lead girl.
She's in like 4 scenes.
They changed her
I know.
out.
I'm just saying.
Just so you know.
We don't know if Missy Peregrine like fucking says shit that we're
makes the show or breaks the show.
Right, exactly.
See, that's what you could do. The next pilot that we watched was Journeyman, which I will say I was very excited about because I'm a time travel junkie. So
Me too, dude. High five on time travel.
Oh, well, we can get in there. There's no explosion. Separate seas. So I'm a huge fan of time travel, and Kevin McKidd, who is the lead in Journeyman, was one of the leads in Rome, which was one of my favorite TV shows. It was amazing. He's amazing. So the fact that he's on a series here, a big NBC series, congratulations. I love the fact that we're seeing non-American performers coming in and being
Stealing
really
our
successful. Yeah, I know they're stealing our jobs, but being
Just close those
really
borders,
successful.
huh?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
so Journeyman concept is kind of hard to explain because they didn't really explain much about what was going on. But somebody wakes up, is basically blacking out, and while he's out, he ends up in pretty much the same space, a la Voyagers or Quantum Leap, wakes up someplace and has to figure out what he's supposed to do, kind of a thing that sort of evolves. Jeffrey?
I would urge anybody that is even slightly interested in the show to get up, pause our podcast, go to your local library, and check out Time Traveler's Wife. Because this show stole the premise of Time Traveler's Wife and did it worse. I like this show. I don't dislike the show. I actually kind of like it. It's got flaws. It's got big flaws. But I loved Quantum Leap.
Yeah, dude. Voyagers?
Voyagers? Oh my God. Phineas Fogg? You kidding me?
Yeah.
But...
That's what.
Yeah,
That's what. I didn't know what I didn't know what Voyagers was, and then you said Phineas Fogg, and I remember the conversation we had. Yeah.
Time Traveler's Wife is a book that is one of my favorite books ever. It is so beautifully written, and it takes this concept of a guy who time travels but has no control over it, and is physically gone from the place he was in before, and has to deal with relationships in his life and dealing with that. But it does so in such a more sophisticated, interesting, emotional, true, epic way that please go read that book.
Okay, in lieu of the book, this show.
The problem that I had with the show, honestly, is that
you read the book.
I read the book. It's done better.
So don't go read the book. Watch the show, then read the book. You'll enjoy both.
I fear that if the show does well, that we'll never see the Time Traveler's Wife movie that I'm dying to see.
Well, they're making it, but
I think the show's pretty decent, and I think the performances are great. I thought it was shot well. I thought it was delivered. There's some overwrought drama. There's some stuff that you can sort of see coming.
It's called cheese.
Yeah, but I'm gonna watch episode 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep checking it out. What about you?
Okay, Dancy.
It's very interesting that you said Time Traveler's Wife is much more sophisticated, because literally the word that was popping in my head the whole show was, this is so unsophisticated. I don't know. I mean, it's Quantum Leap, but Ziggy is an iPhone. You know what I mean?
We don't.
Ziggy had an iPhone in the show.
I know.
Right, kind of.
That was a little weird. That
Yeah.
was a little weird.
I don't get. I kept on waiting, and I thought there was a moment midway through where I said, "Okay, this is where where it starts to be why this is a great show."
Yeah, and then
nothing else happened. This is, if you've ever seen a time travel thing ever, that is what this is. Not as good. The writing is terrible, but I will say that dude, the main actor, is so good.
Yeah.
I was hearing I was seeing his performance and thinking about, I was like, wow, this is all right. And then I started thinking about what's happening. So, man, if I were to read those, if I were to get this script and read it, I'd be like, this is stupid. I'm not,
Yeah.
But in the beginning of this, before I realized nothing good has yet to happen, I was like, wow, this is good. And I was like, wow, but the words themselves aren't very good. Nothing. I mean, what the heck? I can't even. It's one of the shows I will say that it might start to get good.
Yeah.
Like Heroes, to me, the first episode, nothing happened that I hadn't already seen in a similar genre.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to watch this.
I think that little plot point that you talked about, I hope that seed grows into a very interesting strain of plot.
Which plot point? In the stairwell.
I'm not going to watch this show again until people say, dude, it's
like
awesome.
We did with
and
Heroes.
then I'll watch
like we did with Heroes.
the whole
What about
thing.
you, Time Travel fan? 101 at AOL.com.
It's funny, I haven't used that email account. I haven't heard that.
2027.
I haven't heard that email in many years.
Someone's going to get a lot of IMs.
Yeah. What douchebag put my email up on the internet? Well, not the internet. Anyway, yeah, it's hard. I go back and forth because I feel a lot. I feel you, but I'm a sucker. So it's like my brain is going, that's shitty writing. But then my sucker guy is going like, dude, you just fucking traveled through time. So there's a lot of like...
You're watching episode 2 with me.
I love that.
Alex, you and I will watch episode 2 and 3.
And then
You'll let me know. And
Yeah.
we'll see.
So, and Kevin McKidd's just... I hope someday I get to do a scene opposite him. Even like, hey, governor, here's your paper. And he's in like the 50s. 50s? Yeah, it was an old dude
You know
telling
that
us over the 50s.
in the 1950s in America, everyone talked with a Cockney accent.
Showing the shoes, governor. So I feel everything. I feel everything, but I enjoyed it. And at the end, at the end, I got a little teary when he,
Really?
Dude, with the fucking right. Yes, just a little bit.
That was so
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker.
There was a harp, and it had Alex on it.
It was
and
my
some
harp.
God was plucking
They were
it.
plucking my harp.
I would rather watch episode 2 of this than episode 2 of Reaper.
Really?
I would agree with that. But that's
Really? I didn't know.
I would definitely agree with that. But so anyway,
Steve's on
I
my
think
team,
Journeyman.
right?
We're gonna
Me and
put.
Steve are watching TV together at my place.
Well, you're not watching TV, not watching this show.
No, we're watching
people.
Reaper and
Okay, sorry.
Journeyman is in the maybe need to see more. Reaper is in the maybe need to see more. I think there are a few that are in must watch more in my book. Pushing Daisies. I put Bionic Woman in there just because I really enjoyed it. We have seen a lot that are down in this. Don't fuck with
But
Jeff
I
over
gotta
here.
say, lots of good TV happening.
Yeah,
It's
a golden age.
We are in the golden age of
We're in the
television,
golden age
for sure.
And when we were walking away from our Fox screening of a movie, we actually were hushed because we were walking into the set of Journeyman. So, you gotta love it that we were like on set
Golden Age, FTW.
for a second. All right, my God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has come to the ending of our lovely show. We have an email here from Zachers. He says, "Hey guys, I was enamored with Jeff the Gentle Giant Kanata's last meal confirmation for the melting pot."
Actually, that was Dan.
I believe that was Dan that said the melting pot
yeah,
thing.
Zachers.
Mine was my mom's crepes.
Yes, and I was filet mignon potatoes.
Let's get it right.
Let's
Mom.
figure it out. And so I
watch
tried
this show.
it, and I have to say, I've been thinking about it ever since experiencing the flaming turtle. Here we are, lighting the skillet with totally rad powers. I love that they did this.
Yes, very cool.
Genius, Zachers. And on to his question. Dan's description of WoW got me
right that
wondering, that is true,
That's Dan, yes.
what would be the perfect MMO concept in your guys' mind? Zachers. Before we answer that question, I'm going to say that I'm not an officer in my guild anymore for some reason, and nobody told me.
Oh,
so,
our WoW guild that we announced last week.
Yeah, so F that guild, we're going to start our own.
After saying our guild, now we're going to start a new one.
We're going to start a new one. So, check
gonna be the
back in with
Totally
us.
Rad Guild, I
It's
think.
going to be the Totally Rad
Yeah,
Guild if we
yeah.
can get it on executive server. Anyway, so what would you think would be the perfect MMO concept?
Well, I know that I don't want it to be medieval fantasy.
Right.
Okay.
We're going to be
Been
in
there,
London
done
next
that.
week.
Yeah.
We're going to see all that stuff with our own eyes. I don't need to do
hear
that in a virtual world.
Don't need to play Kill Dragons. We're going to kill some dragons.
Yes.
Um,
Not next week, but 2 weeks from now.
and
But
I,
yes.
right, and even still,
Dragon pet and
now that
kill.
Tabula Rasa is coming out, I feel like that's satifying my sci-fi thing. So I'd love to
I don't know,
see.
I played it once.
I mean, it'd be cool to see
That sounds fun.
in an ancient China world. I was pushing you guys
Like Jade Empire.
Jade Empire, but MMO, where you could be a monk, you could be ninja, you could be, even though they're whatever, but
No, but that's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
they.
yeah,
very
you could be the horde type people could be like samurai demons, like in Onimusha, that kind
like
of creatures. Demorize. Love that. 10 years from now, you're gonna see Dan Trachtenberg. Dan Trachtenberg's Demorize.
Yeah, a film initially inspired by Dan Trachtenberg.
But
Written and directed by
I
Dan
wish you
Trachtenberg.
guys
Sorry,
maybe
Dan
doing a World War II MMO or war MMO where you could be, instead of priests, you're medics. You have your different barracks, like you could be stationed in Normandy and you could be stationed in another aspect.
Another D?
Right. And it's like
Stormandy?
and I might be, me and my troops are working our way over and we encounter you guys and you're like, oh, we got to overtake the hill. Like you could really experience that feel. You don't experience the first person shooteriness of war where it puts you in there. It gives you the other experience, the having been there for years and it's wearing on you and meeting up with different people.
WoW is wearing on.
I was wearing that.
So
In a good way. It's a good shirt. I like
pitch.
it. Okay. So Dan's a war buff.
Yeah.
Jeffrey?
MMOs, man. As I love WoW and would never have guessed that the Warcraft universe would be such a fertile place, such a place that I would like to spend so much time. So it's hard to know what would be the perfect concept. I actually think the one concept that what I've always wanted is rumored to be heavily in production, which is the superhero, not City of Heroes where you make your own superhero, but full-on Marvel DC MMO where we are in New York City. We can be any Marvel character we want. They're supposedly making this game, and
How does it work? Is it like 50
no one knows.
Superman?
No one knows. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work. I think
they were the
there's a lot of
NPCs.
really cool ideas I've heard about it where
you were
you're
the
just a
minor
guy, you're just a nameless, or not nameless, but a name you give guy, you run around, and then when you get into battles, every battle is instanced, and every battle you get to be a superhero, and you have a team of superheroes. So
It's interesting.
I don't know
I will
if
say,
that's how it's going to be, but
if that is how it is, I'm going to say that might be tough because Dungeons and Dragons Online, which I liked,
everything was instanced.
everything was instance, and at first it was really cool, but then it's like
Yeah.
you can only go into instance with more people than yourself, and
Well,
then what
I don't-
happens is like. For me, one of the big problems was you'd get a new talent, like you'd level your guy, and you couldn't just walk around and like find a little squirrel and try it and be like, "Whoa, that's kind of fun."
Yeah.
You had to get into an instance to even pull out your, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like there was nothing happened to you where you're just like going along, traveling, and shit happens, which I like.
Well, I have no.
that's good.
Pure
No, but
speculation.
of course,
but
of course.
I think it would be great. I mean, when I was a little kid,
But I like the concept of that.
yeah, when I was a little kid, my friend and I invented our own superhero game where we got to pick 5 superheroes each, and then we would talk, like almost
D&D
role playing,
style, yeah.
talk out our battle with each other and use one guy's powers to counter another guy's powers in this giant rock paper scissors game, just of our imagination.
It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Love
mean,
You should make the Xbox Live Arcade version.
Did you play? I
it's
played
just
that.
using the
I used to
microphone
play-
and talking to each other.
I used to play a Marvel X-Men board game thing.
Oh
where
yeah,
the
there's
little pieces.
Me
and-
too. There's lots of those. There's even a D&D sort of
Well,
type
yeah.
game.
Well, now they have the
Hero
Clickets
Clicks.
thing, Hero
Oh,
Clicks.
Hero Clicks.
We still have those things in
Yeah.
my closet.
What about you?
I don't know. I feel like you guys
How about
covered
Star
a lot
Wars
of really
done
good
right?
one. Wow, in my dream of dreams.
A piratey one.
Well, they're having one. What's it
Well,
called?
Sid Meier's Pirates, but that's
No. There's a big one. The fuck is the one? I was in the beta of it.
What about Cyberpunk?
Burning Seas.
Steampunk.
Shadowrun.
Something.
That'd be interesting.
Well, anyway,
I don't know.
you know what I'm going to say? Hellgate London. That concept, that is like, I think I'm really cool. That like old school, like, hello, governor. As you guys know, I love.
the 1950s.
The
version.
1950s London, you know? Showing your shoes for you, governor. Stabbing Jack the Ripper.
Everyone
Maybe
starts
Mary
out as a
Poppins if
but
you
dude,
want.
everyone
Dude,
starts
like-
out as a paper boy.
Dude,
For,
it'd be
it works
awesome.
for
A
sixpence.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, we're
Everyone's
so
a
getting into the
newsie.
London mindset already.
I know, it's
I
crazy.
love it.
That's crazy.
And we also offended a bunch of people.
Mostly the continent of London.
There you go, Zachary.
Which is where we're very excited to go. So thank you, Zackers. If you want to send us an email, you could check out our new contacts page on our brand new
Holy
website.
crap, we have a new website.
I'm so happy we have a new website. It's amazing.
Send us
Ding, ding.
an email. Let us know what you think of the new website.
Thanks,
Please.
thanks to Jeff could hold the amulet virgin.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, yes, seriously, thanks. But you can also send us an email to fans@totallyradshow.com. And head over to totallyradshow.com, the brand new spanking totallyradshow.com, and let us know what you think.
Send us a background at fans@totallyradshow.com. Our new website has background template images that you can use to get our logo. If you want to use our logo in the background, you want to send us. There's all kinds
Desktop
of great
wallpapers,
stuff. It's awesome.
backgrounds.
There's going to be more stuff. We have more stuff planned. Our site is going to evolve even further.
And we have those evolutions in our brainsies.
But while you're there at the website, you should click on our forums and you should sign up. And I bet you there's going to be a bunch of discussion on those forums about the website. Participate in that.
Yes.
Check us out in the IRC chat.
Yes, we're going to
now
start
just
scheduling.
a little button that you hit. And
We're going to start scheduling time to hop into the IRC
Yep.
chat again if that did get
Although
up on us.
there are times I've certainly been hopping. I know. I
We're
heard
in there all
pre-tell
the time.
Jeff is in there.
I
and he
know.
never
I'd like
crossed
to. I
paths.
didn't even know this thing was. I get like an email with a
easy to
link.
do it.
I didn't know.
We're
so
very
we'll hop
excited.
in.
The community
It's
is
gonna be really
strong.
cool. Yeah.
As cool as our website is,
There are other cool websites in the world. Like
there
what?
were other cool websites a little bit less cool.
MySpace isn't one of them, but we're there too.
Yes. MySpace.com/TotallyRadShow. Become our friend there and find out the movie that we review ahead of time. And
he's doing that.
Use other.
He is.
I am.
Okay, good. You say that every week, and I was like, Does he do that?
No,
Who does that?
I've done it late a
Space
couple
monkeys?
weeks, but I've also done it on time.
A couple weeks.
Also,
iTunes,
feel free to unsubscribe to us.
No.
But then make sure to resubscribe.
You scared
on
me,
iTunes.
Pants.
I know as much as you like our show, like to watch it on the website, maybe you just download the QuickTime, it would really help us to get more viewers to enter the Radiverse
That is true.
by subscribing in iTunes.
We want to hit that critical RAS.
What?
Wow.
Oh, mess.
Anyway, that's it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad
No,
Show.
it's not. It's not that's not it. It's not it for this week. No.
What, because I need a hoodie or a t-shirt?
Yes.
But it's so easy now on our website. You can just click on the main page.
Get rad
It's
gear.
right there.
So I don't
Right
even need
down
to.
there.
I don't even need to say it. So that's it for this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until next time, check out the website, please.
Get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha-2. They're from the planet Q, which is space-time. They're stuck in 82 and must be rescued. We need a heroes too, discuss the latest news, and give us their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. I swear it's all true, not just a premise to The Totally Rad Show.